Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of MTG Arena Run. Today we are gonna continue the standard deck showcase. Last time we did these four decks: Azorius Control, Boros Convoke, Dimir Midrange, and Teamer Analyst. It's this last deck that is probably gonna sour me from playing standard ever until those fetch lands rotate out. That said, we do have four more decks to try out, so we're gonna start with this one under here in the bottom, Rakdos Aggro. If you're used to the one in Pioneer, you're gonna have to remember that this one is slightly different. There are some control elements, Deep Cavern Bat. There's some Shoot the Sheriffs, which is pretty good as removal. Some Go for the Throats as well. It's mostly centered on Preacher, Gix, Liliana, and Shieldren. But that said, there is an early game plan. Forsaken Miner keeps coming back, so that is a big plus. We'll give this one a go, see how this one pans out. But yeah, of the four earlier decks, the mere mid-range, I have no idea how that existed as a deck. Anyway, we're gonna keep this one because we have quite a few turn 2 plays we can do. I would love to get Forsaken Miner is one of those cards that you don't mind pitching in the yard, though if your mana is kind of tight like right now, it might be an issue. In fact, one thing to note is that the teamer and the teamer analyst deck was actually one of the. Okay, so this is Golgari midrange. So we're gonna start with the Blood Tide Harvester because this deals the most damage over time. Probably eats a cut down, but let's get that out of the way. And if nothing else, we kind of want to start filtering through some of these. I don't mind pitching the Forsaken Miner for it. Yeah, the Aftermath analyst deck is actually very. Okay, so we did miss our land drop. We'll have to give up one Preacher. We really need to hit that land. Okay, we hit the land. So we're gonna go Deep Cavern Bat. Opponent probably has removal for this. Yep. Let's get it all out of the way and let's see what they have in hand. So Frillback, Go for the Throat, Preacher. Okay, so we'll see what their next threat is. If they play Preacher, that's nice Liliana fodder. And it's the Liliana that's gonna be doing most of the control for us. Let's see, opponent probably plays a Frillback. In which case, we probably play our own Preacher. I don't think I would want to discard though unless I say hit a land. The nice thing about this version mid-range is that it tops out at 4, so we can kind of survive on 4 lands for the most part. As I was saying, in the last World Championship, the Aftermath Analyst deck was the top standard one. Probably thankfully for all, the people that were playing the deck had horrible runs in limited, so they did not end up on top 8. Which I'm afraid is going to skew the data somewhat. So if our opponent plays a Frill, yeah, they're doing it like that to make sure that they hit the one more green. I don't think exiling. Most likely gain 4 life. I don't think the exiling player's graveyard does anything right now. I'm actually going to play this. Each player discards a card. Pitch our Haunted Ridge. Yeah, so there's an argument for playing Gix first because our opponent is gonna go for the Throat anyway. That said, the argument also works in reverse because if we do it with Gix, we can likewise draw a card. Now let's see if they happen to hit another. Okay, do they really have another removal spell? That's all. Oh wow, how many go for? That's their third go for the throat. What gives? Anyway, we get the hit. So now we're both living off the top. But the advantage that Golgari has is yeah, they get to draw and replay. I don't mind playing creature first, but I will hold back on the Forsaken Miner because now we're hoping they don't hit yet another removal spell. Well, of course I will block. I could just take the hit also and swing just to get the additional tokens, I guess. Yeah, we'll take the hit here because I think our opponent is trying to draw into more cards. Yeah, they were trying to draw into more cards. And so now we can play Shieldred. So we're gonna. Okay, the fact that our opponent is taking time means they probably hit a removal spell. They definitely want to hit Shieldred for sure. Oh no, Takenuma just to... They do re-hit a Planeswalker, but they won't be able to play it. They might go for the Caustic Bronco. Yeah, they're gonna go for Liliana, so we definitely want to keep making tokens. See, this one makes it into a 2/3 with Menace. So I probably will pitch the Forsaken Miner. And we will play the Blackleaf Cliffs. Okay, opponent is going to take out creature, so that's fine. That touch helps. So our opponent, okay, our opponent will have to play all this. This is why we were making tokens. We really need to... We need to have some sacrifice fodder. Caustic Bronco... into a Dread Knight. Okay, they're not playing Liliana yet. And... Our opponent likely wants to double block, so we're just gonna single. Unfortunately, we probably should not have played the Gix there, but that's fine. So our opponent replaying the adventure is going to take them down to 1. Oh, down to 3. Sorry, they were at 6. Yeah, and there we go. So if I do like I do like Golgari mid range as an option also. It does draw us a lot of cards. It's just unfortunate for our opponent we happen to draw into Shieldred. So yeah, I'm gonna claim that one. And we're gonna take a look at the Golgari mid-range deck. So Gix's commands their top end. Archfiend of the Draws is also a pretty nasty top end as well. There is one Graveyard Trespasser. Seems like yeah, it looks like Preacher the Schism is now the new flavor of the season. There is a Pillage the Bog. Shoot the Sheriff, go for the Throat. Lots of stuff. We'll give this one a go. If anything, I'm hoping Test of Talents does get reprinted because well, then again, is it that necessary? Okay, we're definitely keeping this one. I'm hoping we don't have to cut down right away. It's also unfortunate that don't have we don't have any massive grave. There is a tranquil frill back. That one does give us quite a bit of graveyard hate that we can use. Well, let's take a look at what our opponent is playing. Yep, they're playing the aftermarket and analyst deck. So unless we hit the Blooming Marsh, we will most likely play the Death Cap Blade. Yep. Now we need to start aggressively drawing for cards. This is probably the worst hand for us to keep. Though our Preacher is going to generate a lot of tokens, but they die easily to ill-timed explosion. If they could play the Aftermarket Analyst right away, in which case, yeah. Aftermath and Analyst. I keep saying Aftermarket. Well, that's one. So I'm going to pass first. And the reason is, if our opponent has the nut draw and has Nissa on turn 3, we're gonna go for her throat right away. Then we can deal with the Aftermath Analyst next turn with Mossword, and have Mossword Dread Knight go on an adventure for us to draw a card. Our opponent is in the tank though, so that is super weird. Did they not hit their third land? That would admittedly be very awkward if that was it, they don't have any other play. Yeah, they don't have another play. So let's make sure. Gonna duress our opponents. So let's see. Oh, they did have a land. So they're having connection issues here. So knowing that, we definitely want to hold up the go for the throat for Nissa. I could take the World Soul's Rage right away, just so that they don't have that. Okay, our opponent's back. They will be able to play Nissa. They're also missing a lot of blue mana, so that's going to be an issue. They really needed that Broker's Hideout to we'll take one. There's a Cavern of Souls. We will name Fire. Yeah, we'll name Phyrexian. Though I'm wondering why. I could have just easily named something else. Anyway, first things first. Make sure that doesn't come back. Then we start playing our Preachers. That said, we do have a bit of a clock right now. I might hold back on Mossword Dread Knight. I might just send it on adventure, draw a card. Keep swinging for the time being. But yeah, the Teamer Analyst Aftermath deck is gonna be such a. Yeah, this is gonna be so. Okay, so our opponent, still missing their island. So that is one of the caveats of this deck, because it can't run any duels. It's gonna miss out on a lot of good stuff. Though it is only a matter of time before they do hit, so we're gonna draw a card first. play the land. We're not going to play that yet. Opponent does have the Nissa. Do they have the land? One land. So without anything else, what I can do is I can Gix's command. So put 2 and destroy. So put 2 counters on up to 1 creature. Yeah, get rid of their Nissa. I'm basically gonna try to take advantage of the fact that they're really hurting for blue mana right now. Also by sniping this, our opponent is gonna be. Oh wow, they really don't have it. So 4/6. We swing first. It's only a matter of time before they hit their blue source. So we have the cottage. So I might actually start attacking with the cottage to. Let's see, do I play? I'm gonna pass. Yeah, because our opponent needs to hit that blue mana. If they hit it, they can ill-timed explosion, but they'll only be. Nissa? Okay, so not quite doing it. And the reason we're going for the exile is because, yeah, we want to start taking out. We want to start eating their fetch lands. In particular, that brokers, because that's their way of getting a blue source. And yeah, the fact that they were not able to hit it, yeah, kind of didn't. It also hurt our opponent that they had the connection issues, so they missed that one turn. But that's all that's all the sympathy you're gonna get. Now here's another deck that I also. Well, now this one is a bit more interactable against. This is the 5-color domain deck. We'll take a look at Esper midrange last. So traditional strategy is use up the beanstalk, draw into more cards. You want to be casting Herd Migrations, Leyline Bindings, Atraxa, Archangel of Wrath is an alternate win con. Being able to deal extra damage and lifelink goes a long way. There are a few copies to depopulate to wipe the board. There's a single copy of Imadane's Recruiter to make Herd Migration actually lethal out of nowhere. The 4 copies of Make Your Own Luck are really is a nice addition here. Because this is the one other deck that is going to have a lot of mana over time, and being able to cast those 7 mana spells for free is a nice touch. So let's see. This is honestly not a great hand to keep. We're hoping our opponent is also equally slow so that we can drop Topiary Stompers, but let's mulligan this. Okay, this one's keepable. We have turn 2 up the Beanstalk, turn 3 Spelunking. I'll keep the Archangel, so we'll bin 1 Beanstalk here. Also, Spelunking has been the main addition because it turns all these triomes into actual serviceable lands. No, they're still good, but it gets rid of their biggest drawback. Oh, this might be tough for us if we don't hit up Depopulate. We're gonna be in it really slow. And that said, we would need another source. Okay, at least I can name Angel so we can drop Archangel safely. But we're playing Spella. And also, thankfully, our opponent... Do they have the Gleeful? They have the Gleeful Demolition. They always have the Gleeful Demolition. So they... Oh wait, we named Angel here? Oh, you're supposed to choose the other one. Anyway, it didn't matter. We didn't have the mana for it. War Leader's Call, yeah, that's gonna really hurt us. And we're missing the other white mana as well, so... So this is the most we can do. Basically, regain some life. If our opponent has Recruiter, we're in real trouble. Case of the Gateway Express also kind of timely, but thankfully we don't die right away. But we'll probably die next turn. This is the weakness of decks that like this that take so long. And we also missed our blue mana as well, so we can concede this one right away. I'll give this one another go, but as you can, see, the 4 copies that depopulate are not quite enough. Also, we had to take a mulligan there because yeah, our initial hand was awfully really slow. Like we would not have I don't think we would have survived at all. We were better off having the extra card draw. This one is much better. Our Leyline Bindings come up live. The opponent is at... So the question now is, yeah, we will have the double white to drop an Archangel of Wrath. So, unfortunately, we will have to play... We're not going to be able to Leyline Binding, not with these lands. Though our opponent... Yeah, they had the Gleeful Death. So they did not Convoke with this one. So just another Epic here. So I might have to actually play this. That gives us a turn 2 Leyline Binding if we need it, but it also gives us access to a Herd Migration. But yeah. So Imadane's Recruiter, we will end up taking 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, our opponent had the nut draw. So if our opponent does not have another Recruiter, we might survive for another turn. Though we'll play this one. So I can take 5. Really depends what our opponent has. War Leader's Call. You know, we have to snipe it, so at least it resets that part. But then it... Unfortunately, we don't really have any caves here, so the Spelunking is a bit off on timing. Yeah, so we're not gonna survive this. Yeah, kind of unfortunate that both of these matchups were against mono red and them going first. But that's how it goes. It's kind of why this would also be a very good deck against the Analyst deck for the most part. Though the Analyst deck does have a lot more access to life gain because of those fetch lands. So here is Esper mid-range. So pretty much, it's supposedly Legends. We do have a single copy of Tishana. I feel like there should be more than that. We have the same mix of Fairy, Mastermind, Deep Cavern Bat, Aclosauts, Virtue of Loyalty. This is supposedly the better version, if you ask me. But now I'm actually quite dubious. I feel like a bunch of these are... A a bunch of these decks are kind of obsolete now, as far as the meta is concerned. I would still put mono red aggro up there. Okay, so we'll keep this one. We get Dark Slick turn 1, and we get Dark Slick turn 1, so we can go for the Throat if we have to. This is yet another Boros Convoke, so it looks like this is the main flavor. Again, we're going second, so not quite helpful. Also annoying to see that a lot of these guys are just doing the Gleeful Demolition thing. Let's see. Yeah, Gleeful Demolition. This is also the other reason why I think Standard is in a really bad shape right now. The thing is, even when it does rotate, like we lose the Voldaren Epic here, so we're just left with Novice Inspector. But the deck has other ways of so I want to play Denic just to get the life gain going. But I also want to snipe the Warden right now. I'm gonna pass. See what our opponent's next play is. The problem is Imadane's Recruiter is a thing. No War Leader's Call, so I'm gonna let them play it first. If they go, yeah, they're going to combat. They're not gonna pump this, so we have to snipe this right now. That was an argument for playing Denic though, because let's see, does our opponent now have Imadane's Recruiter? Nope, just another War Leader's Call, but we are now forced to block this. Yeah. If anything, it's having these very uninteractive decks that ruin Standard. I think that the Boros Convoke deck would have been fine even without the Gleeful Demolition. But honestly, the Aftermath Analyst really should not be in Standard while those fetch lands are there too. So this one, again, our opponent going first. Let's see, is this Boros Convoke again? Yes, it's Boros Convoke again, though thankfully no turn 1 play. I'll go Deep Cavern Bat now. We'll have to take the hit here. Opponent will play oh, they're not playing Reinforcements? They should if they have it. They don't. Oh, they do have Reinforcements. We're taking the Recruiter because that's the most dangerous part of the deck. But now we need to hit white mana or we're in real trouble. War Leader's Call. Could be worse. Could have been the Sanguine Evangelist. At least we can still cut it down, I guess. So we'll see what our opponent goes for. Going for that. So we're taking an additional 2 damage here. Yeah, they had the Knight Errant. So yeah, we'll just play this. Again, we're taking a lot incidental damage too, so this was probably not the best keep. Also, the problem with these mid-range decks is that they're lacking the sweepers that are absolutely necessary for this one to work. Yeah, we'll just have to snipe one of these, but yeah, we're so dead. Yeah, opponent having way too much gas here. Yeah, we're definitely not surviving this. Yeah, there you go. This is a much faster episode. I kind of want to give one of these decks another shot, but if I see yet another Boros Convoke deck one more time, we're just gonna call it right there. I don't I don't think Esper mid range really did not stand a chance. The 5 color domain deck also kind of does not stand a chance here. This one's really meant to go up against the mid range decks, but these are like let's take at least the like take a look. There's no board wipes here at all. Not that many removal spells. It's just a cut down to go for the throat. At least the Demir mid range had a lot more. If any, I would say the Esper mid range is the obsolete one. I do like the Golgari mid range one, and the Rakdos one is fine as well. Okay. Let's see. Opponent is going first again. Do I see... Okay, this one is the Aftermath Analyst deck, so we will go Anchorage first. Yeah, these are going to be the only 2 decks people are going to play. So unfortunately, this is where the lack of removal is going to really hurt us here. So we're going to go Deep Cavern Bat first. If we can snipe a Nissa, we're going to snipe it. Shigeki, Virtue, Fires. Okay, none of them that interesting. We'll take the Fires. We're definitely gonna snipe the Aftermath Analyst, though we know our opponent has ways of getting it back, so that might not be a real answer. Though that said, we can delay them for quite a bit. And the reason I'm doing it, the reason I'm spending all of it like this is because we don't... They've only had the 1 green so far. They will spend it on getting the Analyst back. But that means they won't have the mana to recast. Oh, they do have the mana to recast it. Okay. Lucky for them. So I could just play Rafine right now, just try to... draw. We definitely want that land. Aquasots is fine, I guess. We'll carry Mastermind. So opponent is probably going to sacrifice this right away. We're going to block. There's no reason to take extra damage. They're just going to sacrifice it. That's fine. Though thankfully without Nissa, it still makes these really bad. We can snipe one of them so that it's just to dodge the issue for the time being. So we definitely want to go Deep Cavern Bat just to see if they have another World Soul. Though if they cast... Okay, they're not casting it. Yeah, we're gonna take it away. We're gonna put it all here. So we definitely want to go for the throat, so we don't want another Rafine. I think we pitched the Wandering Emperor. So the alternate plan now is to get as much life as possible so that now the question is, does our opponent have it? No Memory Deluge. They will get the 4 cards though. So at this point, our best bet is to probably just play Aquasot's Betrayal just to get even more lifelink going. Ill-timed explosion. Okay. Do they have the card to pitch? They probably do, otherwise they would not have done it. Which makes this... Oh wow, that was a 7. So... yeah, no point in... So that was a bit annoying. But yeah, it shows that these are the decks to beat, and we really don't have... And our opponent is probably just going to channel this. Yeah, the lack of interaction is so... Well, not quite. Not quite. We have 1 out. And the nice thing is that Shigeki... we can force them to actually draw it. That's going to be our singleton Tishana's Tidebinder. Let's see if our Now the nice thing is that this is still a counter, even if our opponent decides to take it out with, say, Fires of Victory. They'll need to have an actual counter spell. So they're gonna go for the Memory Deluge. It'll buy us a bit of time. But note that our opponent is sitting on a lot of mana, so they really need their card draw to hit. Yeah, now that I think of it, this mid-range also does not run... This mid-range also does not run, That one's fine, they'll draw a card. Because it doesn't matter, it still counters it. Opponent is just gonna play that out, which is fine. So they have way too much mana. No more lives is not gonna do anything, so we're just gonna play Aquasots. They might have another Fires of Victory, which would make it annoying, but at least we know that's one less card for us to consider. But yeah, we're without a hard counter way to go at. Yeah, our opponent has way too much mana now. They probably just have it in hand already, so there is that. Yeah, that said, there are a few cards that give the player hit. Yeah, well, and with some additional despair. Yeah, Yep. If anything, it shows how hopeless the mid-range decks are. I would really not play them anymore. Well, that's a bit sad, but we do have a few still have a few good hits as well. There, if it, and there is the Analyst deck, there is the Boros Convoke deck. These two are probably the 2 top ones. That said, Control can do a good fight against them. The only problem is that you spend a lot of time playing this. So I can see why people are not interested in playing this, at least on Arena. Yeah, these 2 mid-ranges are not great. The Golgari mid-range is fine. The Rakdos aggro is kind of fine. 5-color Domain is kind of hit or miss as well. And but that's pretty much the conclusion. That's what we got. That's going to be it for this episode, Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications, and whatnot. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone.